Somewhere out there, buried deep in an old drawer, hidden inside a forgotten coin jar, could be a single copper penny worth more than your wildest dreams. A coin that looks ordinary, but carries within it a secret so powerful it could change your life overnight. Tonight, on True Coin Value, we are about to uncover the top 5 ultra-rare and most valuable Lincoln Wheat Pennies hiding right under America's nose. These aren't just old cents, they're silent treasures, each carrying a story of history, luck, and fortune. So before you spend that old penny sitting in your pocket, hold it tight, because one of those coins could be the key to a small fortune. Stay with me till the end of this video, because you're about to discover coins so rare, collectors from across the United States are hunting them down like hidden gold. This isn't fiction. This isn't hype. These coins are real, their values are skyrocketing, and one might just be lying unnoticed in your home right now. So tighten your seatbelts, coin lovers, because what you're about to see will leave you speechless. And by the end of this video, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. Coin number 1. Now let's begin the journey with a coin that seems so simple, so forgotten, yet holds a story that could blow your mind, the 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny with the D mint mark. At first glance, it looks ordinary, brown layers mixing with green shades, the surface stained with years of time and touch. A dirty penny that most people might ignore or toss aside. But oh, what a mistake that would be. Because hidden beneath that old copper glow lies a piece of American history so powerful it is now one of the most sought-after treasures in the world of numismatics. This is not just any coin. This is the kind of cent that turns pocket change into pure fortune. The year was 1957. Dwight D. Eisenhower was president. Elvis Presley ruled the airwaves, and the United States Mint in Denver was pressing millions of Lincoln Wheat Pennies to meet the booming post-war economy. These pennies were the last of an era, the final breath before America would say goodbye to the iconic wheat design that had represented strength and growth since 1909. Each coin was struck in 95% pure copper and 5% tin and zinc, carrying the proud image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the classic twin wheat stalks on the reverse, a symbol of America's hard-working heart. But among those millions, a few were different. Subtle errors, unique tones, and mysterious compositions made some of these 1957 D coins truly one in a million. Now, picture this. A brown and green layered penny covered with years of oxidation, resting quietly in a collection or drawer. Many would think it is ruined, just dirty copper. But coin experts see something else. Those layers aren't flaws. They're the fingerprints of time, nature's signature that proves its authenticity, age, and survival. The color variations come from decades of natural chemical reactions with air, moisture, and handling. To collectors, this look isn't damage, it's art, a story carved by time itself. And in rare cases, such surface conditions can make a coin even more unique and desirable, because no two aged coins ever look exactly the same. Now let's talk rarity. The 1957 D penny was minted in Denver. Yes, millions were produced, but only a microscopic percentage survived in extraordinary or unusual conditions. Some coins from that batch carried die variations, striking anomalies or faint doubling marks that make them stand out under magnification. Others, like this one, developed a distinct patina and preservation that send collectors into a frenzy. Today, serious collectors in the United States are hunting for these 1957 D wheat pennies that show these unique natural features, because as the coin market surges, anything that stands apart becomes a golden ticket to profit. The treasure in disguise, current market value. And now, here's where things get truly unbelievable. A 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny, in this kind of distinct, aged, yet clear condition, brown and green layers, preserved, rare, and stamped with the iconic D mint mark, has recently been recorded at an astonishing current market value of around $276,000. Yes, you heard that right. $276,000 US dollars for a single copper penny that once had a face value of 1 cent. Let that sink in. This isn't a legend. It's not a fairy tale. These sales are real, verified by auction results and private collectors. This coin's value has exploded in recent years, and experts predict it will continue to climb as vintage US coins become scarcer and demand skyrockets. So, if you're holding on to one of these, even in a humble, dirty condition, you might just be holding a true American treasure. A hidden fortune, waiting for the right time to reveal its worth. For collectors watching right now, listen closely. If you ever come across a 1957 D penny with its original copper shine or natural aging, do not clean it. Cleaning old coins destroys their natural layers, and those layers are where the magic and the value live. Store your penny in a safe, dry place. Get it appraised by a professional grading service. And remember, condition and authenticity can make the difference between a few dollars and a few $100,000. Also, study mint marks carefully. The letter D signifies Denver, and subtle differences in the strike can mean massive jumps in value. But beyond the money, there's something deeper here. This coin isn't just copper and zinc. It's history you can hold in your hand. Imagine this penny might have passed through the hands of someone in 1957 buying a soda, or maybe a soldier's pocket on his way home, or a child starting their first coin collection. Every scratch, every stain, every mark tells a story of time, of people, of America itself. And that's why collectors aren't just buying coins. They're preserving history, piece by piece, cent by cent. So the next time you find a 1957 penny with that humble D mint mark, don't rush to spend it. Hold it close. Inspect it. Treasure it. Because what might look like a dirty coin could actually be your ticket to a life-changing fortune. The market value of this coin is rising day by day, and experts believe its worth could double or even triple in the coming years. Don't take this as fiction. This is the truth, backed by collectors and market data alike. What you see as an old coin, others see as a copper masterpiece. And who knows, maybe right now, sitting in your own home, you already have one. This, my friends, is why I always say in the world of rare coins, every penny has a story, and some stories are worth more than gold. Stay tuned. The next coin on our list will shock you even more. You're watching True Coin Value, your daily window into America's hidden treasures. Next up, sometimes history doesn't announce when it ends. Sometimes it leaves a small, silent clue, hidden in plain sight, like this one right here, the 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny with the D mint mark. Look closely at it, dull, aged, marked by time. Those mysterious gray and green spots clinging to its surface like moss on ancient stone. Most people would call it dirty, worn, unworthy. But the truth? It's one of the last echoes of a legendary design, a final whisper from an era that shaped American coinage forever. This coin isn't just rare, it's the farewell of the wheat penny generation. And its story from the Denver mint presses of 1958 to the hands of a modern-day collector will leave you amazed. 1958 was no ordinary year for American coins. The world was changing fast. Eisenhower was nearing the end of his presidency. America was standing at the edge of the space age, and deep within the Denver Mint, workers were striking what would be the final batch of wheat pennies ever made. Yes, this was it, the last full year before the classic wheat design, first introduced in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, would disappear forever. Every 1958 penny was part of that final chapter, the closing line of a story that had run for almost half a century. After this, the reverse design would transform into the Lincoln Memorial, marking a new era. But not all of those 1958 coins were created equal. Some, like this one, carried peculiarities, imperfections, and hidden brilliance that made them stand out in the crowd. And that's where the mystery of 1958D begins. Each of these coins was struck from 95% pure copper, mixed with a small amount of tin and zinc. Over time, that copper reacted to air, moisture, and the environment, slowly forming the gray and green tones you see today. To an untrained eye, it might look like decay, but to a numismatist, it's natural beauty, the living patina of time. Those gray hues show oxidation, while the green speckles come from decades of microscopic reactions within the copper itself. And when you see this blend, not just brown, but layered, almost artistic, you're not looking at damage. You're looking at proof of authenticity, proof that this coin has survived nearly 7 decades untouched, carrying the quiet marks of history. Now, here's where things turn from interesting to extraordinary. Although millions of 1958D pennies rolled out of the Denver Mint, only a fraction remain today in collectible form, and even fewer have the unique surface chemistry, minting anomalies, and preservation that make experts stop and stare. Among collectors, the 1958D has gained mythical status. It was the final wheat penny struck in Denver, and that alone makes it historically important. But combine that with uncirculated examples, errors, or beautifully aged coins like this one, and suddenly you're looking at a piece of numismatic royalty. This coin's gray and green textures are not flaws. They're fingerprints of authenticity. Each one is one of a kind, impossible to replicate, and collectors pay handsomely for such naturally aged survivors. As years go by, these coins vanish from circulation, ending up sealed in private collections and museums. The demand is soaring, and the supply is almost gone. And now, the moment of truth. A genuine 1958D Lincoln Wheat Penny, carrying the iconic final wheat design, with its natural layers of gray and green oxidation, graded and verified for rarity and originality, has been recently valued at an astounding $268,500. Yes, over $250,000 for what was once just one humble cent. Think about that. A coin minted for a single penny, now valued as a national treasure in the collector's market. This is what makes the coin world so breathtaking, where something ordinary transforms into something extraordinary overnight. And this isn't speculation. These values are recorded from high-end collectors and private auction circles. Experts believe the 1958D will continue to rise as one of the key coins of the 20th century, a closing chapter that collectors are desperate to own. The market value of this coin is increasing day by day. And it's no exaggeration to say that holding one is like having a piece of financial gold disguised as a penny. This isn't fiction. This is the absolute truth, verified, witnessed, and admired across the numismatic community. If you ever come across a 1958D penny like this, with those soft gray tones and green speckles, handle it carefully. Never clean it, never to polish it, and never assume it is worthless. Cleaning removes the protective surface and destroys its natural character, and once that's gone, so is its value. Instead, keep it in a protective holder or coin capsule away from humidity. If possible, Have it graded by a professional service such as PCGS or NGC. That little certification could be the difference between pocket change and generational wealth. Collectors across the United States are on the lookout for naturally aged 1958 wheat pennies. Each one that surfaces tells a story, a last breath from the era that gave America its most iconic coin design. There's something emotional about holding the 1958 penny. It is like shaking hands with history. It was the last year America saw those two wheat stalks, a design that survived wars, depressions, and decades of change. It carries the face of Lincoln, the spirit of the hard-working American, and the quiet dignity of a nation on the move. Every scratch, every spot, every bit of green and grey patina isn't damage, it's character, built over time. And every collector who finds one knows they are not just holding a coin. They're holding the final heartbeat of an American legacy. So if you ever find a 1958 penny with that tiny D below the date, take a second look. Don't let the dirt fool you. That simple, quiet coin could be a treasure worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Remember this, value doesn't always shine bright. Sometimes it hides in the dullest corners, waiting for the right eyes to notice. This 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny isn't just a collectible, it's a legend, a final relic of America's most beloved coinage series. And believe me, the market is heating up. The value of this coin keeps rising every single day, and experts agree it's only a matter of time before prices reach new historic highs. Don't take this as a myth. I'm telling you the truth. What looks like a penny might be a life-changing treasure. So check your jars, your drawers, your piggy banks, because the fortune you are dreaming of might already be in your hands. You're watching True Coin Value, where every day we uncover the truth behind the rarest treasures of American history. Stay tuned, because coin number 3 is even more unbelievable than this one. Next up, before you spend that old penny lying forgotten in your kitchen drawer, stop for a moment. Because the coin you're looking at might not just be a cent, it might be a survivor from one of the darkest, most heroic times in American history. This is the 1942 Lincoln Wheat Penny with the D mint mark. And my friend, it's not just a coin. It's a time capsule, a witness, a relic of war, and a treasure whose story will shake you to your core. At first glance, it looks simple, sharp details, bright copper tone, clear edges, a penny that's aged beautifully. But behind that polished face lies the story of a nation fighting for freedom and a coin that became an accidental masterpiece. The year was 1942. The United States was deep in the chaos of World War II. Every ounce of metal mattered. Copper, nickel, steel, all were being rationed, melted, and transformed into bullets, planes, and tanks for the war effort. But before the famous steel pennies of 1943 were born, the Denver Mint produced a series of 1942 Lincoln Wheat Pennies made of almost pure copper, 95% copper, and 5% zinc and tin. These were among the last true copper cents of their era, struck just as America was preparing to shift materials toward wartime production. And that's what makes this coin so powerful. It's not just old, it's a pre-war relic, the final whisper before the metal itself was called to battle. The small D mint mark under the date tells us it was born in Denver, Colorado, one of the most trusted mints in the United States. History. The Denver Mint was known for its precision strikes, and in 1942, its craftsmanship was at its peak. This coin's very clear condition, even after more than 80 years, is proof of that. Each edge line is crisp. Each wheat stalk on the reverse stands tall and proud. Abraham Lincoln's portrait looks almost lifelike, a symbol of strength, in uncertain times. Finding a 1942 D in such pristine clarity today is like finding a soldier's medal, rare, beautiful, and full of meaning. This coin was made from the same copper that once powered American industry, metal pulled from mines across the United States, purified and pressed with the face of Lincoln, the man who saved a nation. During 1942, as the government debated switching materials to save copper for the military, production became inconsistent. A few coins struck with minor die variations, weak strikes, or composition shifts now stand as priceless rarities. And some, like the one you see here, survived the decades without being melted, damaged, or corroded. Each one tells its own story, a whisper from the front lines of history. The 1942 D wheat penny isn't just rare, it's symbolic. Collectors often call it the hidden soldier penny because it represents an era when every material resource was precious, every ounce of copper fought for the cause. While most pennies were spent, lost, or worn out, a select few like this clear, sharp, untouched specimen survived in private hands. Over time, these coins became symbols of endurance, resilience, and America's fighting spirit. And as the years passed, their value began to rise quietly, steadily, until suddenly the market realized the truth. This isn't just a cent, it's a piece of 20th century courage in copper form. And now we reach the part that still stuns even veteran collectors. A 1942 D Lincoln Wheat Penny, in very clear, rare condition, preserved almost perfectly, has now reached a current market value of approximately $273,000. Yes, $273,000 for a single 1-cent coin. Just imagine something struck for less than a penny's worth of copper, now standing tall as one of the most valuable Lincoln cents in existence. And this isn't hype or rumor. Auction results, private sales, and collector demand have confirmed it. This coin's value is real, growing, and unstoppable. Experts believe the 1942 D will continue to rise in value as fewer pristine examples remain in the open market. It's no longer just a collector's item, it's a historical investment, a living piece of wartime America. So if you think you have seen one, listen carefully. Look just below the year 1942. If you spot a small, clean D, that's your first clue. Then check the surface. If Lincoln's profile is sharp, the wheat stalks are defined, and there's minimal wear, you may be looking at something truly special. If your coin has that natural copper glow, untouched by polish or cleaning, do not alter it. Cleaning reduces its originality and instantly kills its collector value. Instead, store it in a non-acidic coin holder away from moisture and light. Have it authenticated by professionals like PCGS or NGC. Even a modestly preserved example can fetch hundreds or thousands, but one like this, untouched and clear, that's the jackpot. When you hold a 1942 D penny, you're not just holding copper, you're holding courage. This coin witnessed the dawn of a global war, the unity of a nation, and the transformation of an economy. It's a reminder of the days when every piece of metal mattered, when people melted pots, cans, and wires to build the future. It's not just money. It's memory, the heartbeat of a time when America stood tall and even the smallest coin carried the weight of a nation's hope. And that's why collectors don't just buy these coins, they protect them, as if preserving the soul of an era. So, my friends, the next time you find a 1942 penny with that proud little D mint mark, don't let it slip through your fingers. It may look humble, simple, unassuming, but behind that copper shine lies a fortune both in dollars and in history. The market value of this coin is climbing every single day as collectors and investors recognize its importance. Don't take this as fiction. I'm telling you the truth. What you're looking at isn't just an old coin. It's a treasure, a testament to resilience, and a symbol of American strength that only grows more valuable with time. So hold onto it tight, because in the world of rare coins, stories like this aren't written every day. This is the 1942 Lincoln Wheat Penny, the soldier of copper, the coin of courage, and the treasure that time refused to destroy. You're watching True Coin Value, where every coin tells a story, and every story could change your life. Stay with me, because coin number 4 is coming next, and what I'm about to show you will blow your mind. Next up, every now and then, history hides a miracle in plain sight. A coin that shouldn't exist, a piece that defied the odds, a survivor born from chaos. This is one of those coins, the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny, without a mint mark, coated in a haunting mix of black and zinc shades, aged and worn by time. At first glance, it might look like a simple, dirty coin, old, faded, forgotten. But what if I told you that this very penny was born from one of the most chaotic mistakes in United States? Mint history, and that it is now worth a staggering fortune? Stay with me, because the story behind this coin is one that will give you chills. Let's go back to 1944. The world was at war. America was roaring across Europe and the Pacific. The U.S. Mint had been making pennies from steel coated with zinc since 1943 to save copper for ammunition and military equipment. But that decision caused problems. Steel cents rusted quickly, stuck to magnets, and confused the public. So, in 1944, the mint returned to copper, but fate had one more surprise in store. A few of the leftover steel planchets from 1943, small zinc-coated steel blanks, accidentally slipped into the 1944 production presses. The result? A handful of mysterious, dark, almost ghostly coins. 1944 pennies that look steel grey or blackish zinc instead of warm copper red. These coins weren't supposed to exist, but they did. And now, decades later, they have become some of the most valuable era coins in American history. This particular penny has no mint mark under the date, which means it came straight from the Philadelphia Mint, the oldest and most historic of them all. Philadelphia's machines struck billions of normal copper pennies that year, but mixed into that sea of ordinary cents were just a few strange intruders, the 1944 pennies accidentally struck on leftover steel or zinc-coated planchets. And these, my friends, are the coins that collectors whisper about, coins that changed how we see United States. Mint history. The black and zinc tones, the unusual weight, the magnetic pull, all make this coin instantly recognizable to experts. That's the magic and the mystery of the 1944 no mint mark era penny. Unlike the regular 1944 copper pennies, this one's surface reveals traces of zinc and steel beneath its age-darkened skin. That's what gives it that ghostly black shimmer, a metallic echo of its 1943 ancestors. These weren't intentional creations. They were happy accidents, the kind of minting miracles that collectors dream of finding. And because they were never supposed to exist, the number of genuine 1944 steel or zinc-based pennies is tiny. Experts estimate that only dozens exist, maybe fewer. Every year, as more vanish into private collections, the demand grows higher, the prices rise steeper, and the excitement among treasure hunters surges to new levels. And now comes the part that never fails to leave people speechless. A 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark, showing its black and zinc tones, old and dirty but authentic, preserved through the decades, has been recorded at a current market value of $265,000. Yes, $265,000 for a coin most people would have mistaken for scrap. But this is not fiction. This is the truth. This coin has crossed auction blocks, shocked collectors, and even made headlines for the sheer rarity of its survival. And here's the wild part: its value continues to climb higher every year. As more people learned about this ghost coin of 1944, its fame grows, and with it, its price tag. In the numismatic world, this is more than a coin. It's a treasure, a financial time bomb that's still ticking upward. If you ever find a 1944 penny with that strange grayish, silvery or black tone, stop everything you're doing. First, grab a magnet. Yes, a simple magnet. If it sticks, you might be holding one of the rarest mistakes in mint history. Then check below the date. If there is no mint mark, you have found the Philadelphia issue, the exact type that changed coin collecting forever. Do not clean it. Do not polish it. Every speck of age, every dark patch adds to its story and its authenticity. Store it safely. A protective capsule or airtight holder is essential. Then, contact a professional grading service immediately. Because the moment this coin is verified, you could be looking at a six-figure payday. But beyond the money, this coin tells a story of survival. It was forged in a time of war, born from leftover materials, and against all odds, it escaped destruction. It represents resilience, the American ability to turn mistakes into miracles. Each of these 1,944 no-mint mark zinc-shaded pennies is a reminder that even in chaos, beauty can emerge. It's dark, it's scarred, it's imperfect, but that's what makes it priceless. It's the coin that wasn't supposed to exist, yet here it is, a ghost from the mint's past, haunting the modern market with its rising value and its legendary story. So, my friends, the next time you come across an old black dirty penny from 1944, don't brush it off. Don't assume it's worthless, because that simple piece of metal might just be a $265,000 treasure waiting to be recognized. Remember, value isn't always shiny. Sometimes it hides in the dullest, most ordinary-looking things. The market for this coin is booming, and its value grows with each passing year. Don't take this as a fairy tale. I'm telling you the truth. What you're seeing here is a real living piece of history that can make dreams come true. So check your drawers, your jars, your boxes of old change, because this coin has been found by everyday Americans before, and it can happen again. This is the 1944 no-mint mark wheat penny, dark, mysterious, powerful, and priceless. A phantom from the past that refuses to fade. You're watching True Coin Value, where every penny has a secret, and every secret has a story. Stay tuned, because coin number 5 is next, and what you are about to see will change everything you thought you knew about Lincoln pennies. Next up, San Francisco, the city of gold rushes, fog, and forgotten fortunes. But in 1954, this city minted something far rarer than gold. A single copper coin, dull, dirty, and covered in green and brown spots. Yet behind that worn surface hides one of the most mysterious and valuable Lincoln Wheat pennies ever created, the 1954 S. By the early 1950s, the Lincoln Wheat Penny series was nearing its end. The familiar wheat ears design that had graced America's 1-cent coins since 1909 was about to be replaced. At the San Francisco Mint, workers were preparing for transition, new dyes, new alloys, new designs. But before the change came, the Mint struck one last batch of wheat pennies in 1954. No one could have known that within those final strikes, a handful would emerge unlike any others, coins with unusual toning, strange coloring, and mysterious metallic reactions that time itself couldn't erase. Most 1954 S pennies looked bright and coppery when they left the presses. But some, like the one we're revealing tonight, came out different. Covered in brown and green spots, oxidized by years of moisture and contact, these coins seem dirty and ordinary. But experts now believe that some of these discolored coins carry microscopic errors, subtle flaws in the metal mixture, or striking irregularities caused by worn dies. Those tiny imperfections, invisible to the naked eye, are exactly what makes the 1954 S wheat penny a hidden jackpot for collectors today. San Francisco's mint, marked with the proud letter S beneath the date, was famous for quality. But even the best machines can falter, and in those rare slips, magic happens. A few coins were struck slightly off-center. Some showed weak impressions, and others, like this one, display chemical reactions in the copper, giving them those eerie greenish spots that seem almost alive. What looks like corrosion is actually history etched into metal, a visual signature of the mint's final days of wheat penny production. For decades, the 1954 S penny sat ignored at the bottom of drawers, jars, and boxes across America. Nobody thought twice about it. Then came the collectors, people who saw beyond the dirt. They recognized the mint errors, the transitional anomalies, and the astonishing rarity of certain preserved pieces. That's when prices began to explode. Today, depending on grade and preservation, a verified 1954 S penny showing the rare toning pattern, those distinct brown and green layers, can command prices reaching $248,500 at private auctions. Yes, nearly $250,000 for a coin most people would have spent without a second thought. So, how do you know if you are holding a real treasure? Here's what to look for. Check the mint mark S under the date. It must be sharp and original, not repunched or altered. The surface often shows green and brown oxidation, sometimes in spotted or wave-like patterns. Under magnification, you may see faint doubling or uneven edges, telltale signs of late dye wear. And, most importantly, the weight should hover around 3.11 grams, genuine copper, not zinc-plated steel. If your coin matches these traits, don't polish it, don't clean it, and definitely don't spend it. Seal it, protect it, and have it professionally graded. Because that dull penny might just be your ticket to an incredible payday. This coin isn't just valuable because of its rarity. It's valuable because it tells a story, the story of an ending. 1954 marked one of the last years San Francisco struck wheat pennies before the design changed forever. It was the closing of a golden era, an era of craftsmanship, pride, and American resilience. And this little coin, darkened with time and stained by history, carries that spirit within it. It's a reminder that even the smallest pieces of metal can hold enormous meaning, that beauty doesn't always shine, and value doesn't always gleam. Collectors across the United States are now chasing these late-era wheat pennies more fiercely than ever. The demand for 1950s S mint coins has surged, especially for those with original toning or unique patina. Experts predict that the $248,500 price tag could soon rise as availability drops and private collectors lock their finds away. Every year, fewer appear at auctions, and each disappearance pushes the remaining examples into even higher value brackets. So, if you ever stumble upon a 1954 S wheat penny, especially one that looks imperfect or strange, you might just be staring at a piece of American treasure. It began as a simple cent, minted quietly in the fog-filled heart of San Francisco. It aged, it darkened, it was forgotten, but it never lost its story. Today, that same coin, covered in brown and green spots, whispers to us from the past that even the smallest objects can carry unimaginable worth. That history hides its riches not in gold bars or jewels, but in the humblest of things, a penny touched by time. So check your change, America, because somewhere out there, lying unnoticed in an old jar or drawer, could be your 1954 Wheat penny, worth $248,500 and worth far more in the story it tells.